Momini was a market researcher, often called on to speak at conferences. But soon, the Plymouth, Massachusetts resident found this once natural ability had grown significantly more difficult.
I was heading the phone call up with about 20, 25 insurance companies. And I found I was having a hard time following the conversation. And that had never happened before.
At first, Joe's primary care physician chalked it up to age and stress, but Joe and his wife Yada persisted.
The neurologist did a number of different tests, including a neuropsych test and an MRI. And that MRI revealed that I had roughly an 80% decline in my hippocampus.
These results indicated that Joe had early onset Alzheimer's. However, a definitive diagnosis proved difficult for reasons beyond science.
Now, we didn't go out and get a PET scan or a spinal tap, which would actually reveal if you actually have the plaques, because those tests were not covered by my insurance. They cost thousands of dollars out of pocket. And back then, there were no treatments that could slow down the progression of the disease, so there really was no value in having those tests done.
Joe retired the day of his diagnosis.
I had lost income because I retired at 54. I needed to drop my life insurance because the annual renewal premiums, they skyrocketed to their maximum, which we just couldn't afford. I joined a biomarker clinical trial to see if I could get access to these new treatments. And that's when I discovered that I actually don't have those plaques that are a hallmark of Alzheimer's.
So tell me a little bit about the new diagnosis, how that comes about.
At Mass General in Boston, they have a unit dedicated to the disorder I have, which is called functional cognitive disorder. And what they've kind of explained to me is it has symptoms very similar to dementia, but it is not a neurodegenerative disease.
Unlike those suffering from Alzheimer's, Joe has the potential to, as he puts it, reprogram his brain, retraining signals involving memory and recall to travel down different neural pathways. But his work as an advocate was just beginning.
There's two areas I'm really trying to focus on. It's on better education, to make people aware of the importance of identifying this, and access to early detection, and these biomarker tests.
In fact, Joe is so dedicated to making testing more affordable, he's now working to put biomarkers into a bill.
There is a bill before the Massachusetts State House right now that is looking to ensure that these biomarker tests are covered by insurance.
In the meantime, Joe and Yada continue to enjoy retirement, this time on their own terms.
I found during the last 7 years, I'm much more aware of how I spend my time and who I spend my time with, and I make sure that I enjoy what I'm doing and I'm in the moment.
And Joe says despite his misdiagnosis, he and Yada have no ill will. He's actually very appreciative of all his doctors.
Yeah, they have a great attitude. And as you heard, there is a proposal, actually a couple of them up on Beacon Hill, to make biomarker testing more affordable, more accessible.